I love solving problems, especially big social problems. Every morning I wake up and I get to try and make the world a better place. And we're connecting families that used to never be able to connect.
In the caves above the forests, the bears were settling down.
Caribu is an education platform that helps parents, extended family, and mentors read and draw with children when they're not in the same location. So we like to say we're FaceTime meets Kindle for kids.
Summoning up all his courage, he took a deep breath and stepped inside.
Here's how easy it is to use Caribu. All you have to do is call your contact, and then as soon as they answer, you're in a real live video chat. So you can pick out a book, and everyone can see what's happening on both sides of the screen. Every time I turn a page, whoever's on the other side is seeing me turn the page. Kids love turning the page because it looks like a real page. The books are focused on ages 0 to 7. There are hundreds of books to choose from in 6 different languages and educational workbooks that you can draw on. And that's how easy it is to use Caribu. For children to be ready for kindergarten, they have to be read to for at least 20 minutes a day. If you think about how many parents travel for work or work late or gone because they're deployed, there's just so many reasons why someone wouldn't be able to get that time in. And so we're really excited that Caribu's technology has finally kind of created the opportunity for kids to be read to, no matter where the adult is. Not only is that building a connection with the child, you're building incredible, unique moments.
His parents would nag and tell him to roar.
To be named a Toyota Mother of Invention, to be recognized for inventing something that's really solving a problem is just such an extreme honor. There's a lot of people that made Caribu what it is today, and I'm grateful to them, but very excited that the team is being represented by a woman and a Latina. My hope and dream for Caribu is that we become a household name for communication between families when they're far away. When people say, oh, let's FaceTime, I hope in the future it's let's Caribu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alisha Laventure. I'm an anchor here in Dallas, Texas at WFAA TV, Channel 8 News, and I am so pleased to sit alongside Max Tuchman this evening, this year's Mother of Invention Award recipient. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's give her a round of applause. And so, Max, I think the beauty here is in the simplicity of the goal, to have an adult connect with a child to share a story no matter where they are, and they're establishing a bond, a connection. So let's talk about the backstory. What inspired you to create Caribu?
Yeah, so we were inspired because we saw a picture of a soldier who was trying to read a book to his daughter through a webcam. It's a picture, he's in his fatigues, he is at a coffee shop, he has this laptop, he has this huge physical book. Yes, oh my God, it's like, I mean, does your heart not break when you look at this photo? You know that he can't see his daughter definitely can't see the text, and this is a man who's out there possibly giving his life to keep our family safe. And this is the best technology we have for him. It's just unacceptable. So we said, let's build a better solution, and we did. And it's been actually used by many military members who are trying to stay connected to their families while either being deployed or even being on base. We saw a video earlier, I think it was Toyota, who talked about, you know, families move 9, 10 times in just 10 years. So no matter if you're serving in the US, you may be away from extended family like aunts and uncles or grandparents who also want to build a relationship with your 0 to 7-year-old.
And so with Caribu, there is an educational component to this. And I know you were a teacher in the classroom. You've also been executive director, Teach for America in Florida, where you're originally from. And so I want to talk about why now as an entrepreneur, why it's important for you to continue to champion education and also the military.
Yeah, so we're Cuban immigrants. We're Jubans, actually, so I'm a Jewish Cuban. It doesn't really sell outside of Miami. I feel like only Miamians know what a Juban is.
Cubans everywhere are rejoicing now.
Yeah,
to have
like she did it. She got it out of Miami. And my family gave up so much, being persecuted. My grandmother was in Auschwitz. My grandfather was in the Underground Railroad in Poland. They met in a displaced persons camp. They fled there and went to Cuba, where they were persecuted again for their beliefs, and continued to leave countries that didn't accept them so that they could give me and my sister a better life. And so for me, my personal just admiration and respect for our military in the United States comes from my family's history and how grateful I am to the women and men that serve so courageously. I think on the education side, I grew up with any of you who are immigrants or children of immigrants know that your education is the only thing you can take with you when you leave your country. That and the silverware that you sewed into your coats. And it's just always been, even though I'm the first one in my family to graduate from college, education was the absolute most important thing in my family because we knew, and I continue to believe, that education and a strong foundation in the early ages is the only thing that will allow you to become and to really realize your full potential. And so for me, just with all the experiences I've had in education, the space 0 to 7 is where you have to build those very strong foundations. And if you don't get it right there, then we are just literally trying to make up for the things that we didn't do right, and that's just not right.
You know, the U.S. being a nation of immigrants, I'm sure your story can really resonate with a lot of people. Speaking as a first-generation American, you're right about that education being sort of your ticket to get out, so to speak. And so, as a self-proclaimed Juven,
yes,
you are a woman, you are Latina, you are a double minority. And oftentimes when we're talking about entrepreneurship and minority status, it's discussed as a hurdle, challenge, setbacks. But I'd like to flip the script, and I'd like for you to talk about how being a woman and being a Latina has actually helped you as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so the thing to name also is that I do have white privilege. I'm white presenting, and so I get to go undercover until someone sees my hoops or sees me walking from behind. I'm very cute.
Or the curly hair, right?
Or the hair starts frizzing in Miami, and then they're like,
something's going on there.
Something's different about that one. But I think the question in entrepreneurship for female founders has always been a negative question. It's always been, oh, it must be so hard for you, and there's all these sexual harassment issues that are happening. And back to Jen's point about the power play, right? You are in a position where you're asking someone for their money, and it gets tricky. But thank you for asking the question in a positive way. What are the positive things about being a female founder and a female entrepreneur? And I would say that number one, the doors are being just thrown open for us right now because people not only recognize that they need to bring us to the table, but also the research shows that we create better results. We actually yield more money when you invest in women. And so if you are a smart investor, you are going to invest in women. You're going to try and find us. So there's more accelerators and incubators for us. There are more investors who their entire investment thesis is to invest in women. There's also a greater sisterhood. And again, I think that's the theme of the night, is that we must, as women and minorities, continue to fight for each other and to lift up each other's voices. When you see a woman say something on Twitter, there's usually a guy that retweets it. Retweet the woman, not the man. Right? When someone says something in a meeting and it's brilliant, make sure that continues to get, kind of given to her. There's just so many things that women are realizing that we need to band together to do. It's a wonderful time to be a female entrepreneur, I think.
Awesome. And we talk about you being a first one to go to college. Your parents are immigrants. And oftentimes in immigrant homes, there is an emphasis on education, on creating wealth, on creating success. Not often the discussion being to look back in the rearview mirror, if you will, to remember sort of where you're coming from, except to appreciate those who have struggled before you. So as an entrepreneur, though, for you, it's equally important to give back. And what motivates that now after creating Caribu and the success that you've managed to achieve?
I mean, I know that I didn't get here alone. I stood on the many shoulders of giants, many women and men included. And I wouldn't be here had they not opened those doors for me. And I can't go through life without turning around and opening doors and pulling women and minorities through that door. I think as a woman, as a minority, a lot of times I don't feel confident enough. Well, not anymore. I've become very confident, a little overconfident. But I think that, my college professor told me that I got into college, like just very seriously told me that I probably only got into college because I checked off the Latina box on my application. And that sticks with you, and that continues to make you wonder, is that the only reason that I got to where I got to? And thank God I squashed that. But there's many women and minorities that hear that time and time again, or just once, and that continues to make them think that they can't walk through those doors, even when someone opens it for them. So it's our responsibility for those of us that are on the side of the door to open the door and literally like pull people in, and then help them and give them the resources and the support and the mentorship. And the mentorship, I actually want to say, is sponsorship. Women, we must sponsor other women. We must introduce them to other people. We must bring them to the table. We must bring them to events. It's not enough to have a 30-minute coffee conversation. You literally have to almost like bring them out, what is the cotillions or something, go meet everybody. Let me introduce you. Here's a contact. We've got to do that because men do that for other men. And so we as women have to do that for other women.
That networking is key. And quickly, I'd just like to ask, what's next for Caribu? I mean, this is really an amazing application, an amazing platform. What's next for the program and even for the organization?
Yeah, global domination. The easy answer. But seriously, I think for us, when you think of early childhood literacy, one side of the coin is quantity. We've solved that. We've given children 0 to 7 the ability to get read to every night for at least 20 minutes, no matter where a trusted adult is. But the second half of that is the quality piece, right? So we've got to be making sure that kids are progressing and are ready for kindergarten, and are given every resource that they deserve. And I think that we at Caribu want to build better educational platforms so that parents feel like they can be a true child's first teacher and really ensure that they're setting their child up for success. That would make me super happy.
Max, it's been a pleasure talking to you this evening, understanding sort of what inspired Caribu and what makes you a strong woman leader we need, where there are more of you out there. And it's just great to hear your story and understand how you came to be. And it's clear to see why you are this year's mother of Invention. So again, congratulations to you. And on that note, I'd like to introduce to the stage Lisa Matarazzo from Toyota, who has a special announcement to make.